Welcome to the Unlimited Prosperity Studio. In this podcast, Gael and I will talk about mindset, energy, abundance, and everything that can transform the way you think and live. This space is for you who feel, deep down, that you were born for something greater. For you who refuse to live on autopilot, stuck in routine, settling for less. This is the place for those who want to grow, expand, and truly evolve. Gael and I will bring powerful ideas, deep conversations, and the teachings of brilliant minds, like Dr. Helen Franciny Martine, to help you break through the invisible barriers that have been holding you back from prospering.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've got a really interesting set of sources today, all focusing on something that could genuinely change how you look at things.
Yeah.
Your potential, the world.
Absolutely. Today we're diving into this idea of the scarcity mindset, but we're looking at it through the lens of Dr. Helen Franciny Martine. Our sources describe her as, a global authority on personal development, abundance mindset.
Right.
And her ideas really offer a way out of what can feel like this invisible cage.
Totally. Yeah, our sources are mixed bits from conversations she's had, her writings, even notes from audience Q&As where Dr. Martine really unpacks these powerful concepts. And the main idea isn't just about, not having enough money or opportunities out.
Deeper.
It's way deeper. It's about an internal state, a way of seeing that starts, as she puts it, inside in your mind.
Our mission today, really, to properly explore these ideas. We want to unpack what this scarcity mindset actually is, how it sort of gets wired into us, the real dangers, often hidden ones, and, crucially, the practical things Dr. Martine suggests we can do to start shifting it
towards what she calls a life of limitless abundance.
Exactly, moving away from that feeling of lack.
And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. The sources are really clear. This mindset is like a filter, a powerful one you might not even know you have. It colors how you see opportunities. It subtly guides your decisions every day. And, it affects so much more than just your bank balance.
Oh, absolutely. It touches your relationships, your health, your feeling of being worthy, everything. It's like this foundational operating system for your life.
And if it's running on scarcity,
it limits everything, yeah. And most people, they don't even realize the filter is on.
Okay, so let's jump into that core idea from Dr. Martine. The real lack isn't mainly external circumstances, it's internal. What does she mean by that? Scarcity isn't out there, it's inside in your mind.
Well, she describes it less as one single thought and more like a bundle. A complex, tangled mess of beliefs, usually unconscious ones, deeply ingrained.
Like a knot of wires in your head.
That's a good way to put it. All connected, reinforcing each other. Beliefs about yourself, about other people, about how the world fundamentally works. Is it a place of possibility or is it all just limitation?
And the sources give some really specific, almost kind of startling examples of what these beliefs sound like.
They do. These are those little whispers, the insidious thoughts that make up the scarcity mindset. Classic ones she points out are things like, I'm not good enough. That's a core internal scarcity, right? Yeah. A lack of belief in your own worth or ability.
Yeah.
Or I don't deserve success. That one's huge. It stops you even going for good things, let alone accepting them, because deep down you feel unworthy.
And then there's that big one, almost primal. The idea that the world doesn't have enough and we have to fight for scraps.
Oh, that's a really potent one. Yeah. It paints this picture of a zero-sum world. Someone else's win is automatically your loss.
Right.
So it breeds competition, envy, defensiveness, instead of maybe collaboration or seeing potential for growth. If you truly believe you have to fight for scraps, every single opportunity looks like a desperate battle. You approach it from fear.
Fight for scraps. Just hearing it, you feel the tension in that, the anxiety. It sounds exhausting.
It is exhausting. And the really tricky part, the almost invisible part, Dr. Martine emphasizes, is that we don't usually learn these beliefs consciously. It's not like you sign up for a course on why there isn't enough.
No.
You absorb them unconsciously, often starting really young. It's conditioning, watching how the adults around you deal with money or stress, hearing common sayings, experiences where things felt limited, even, how media shows wealth or success.
Which ties right into her own story, doesn't it?
Yeah. Her journey is very revealing.
She uses that as a key example in the sources.
She talks about growing up, hearing all those familiar phrases. Well-meaning, sure, but ultimately limiting things we've all heard, like save for a rainy day, or the classic,
money doesn't grow on trees.
oh yeah, exactly, a global parental standard. And while the intention is, teach prudence, teach responsibility, they can also accidentally install this subconscious program that money is just inherently hard to get.
That it's scarce.
That it's scarce, yeah. Something you have to guard because there's just not enough of it. And she explains how these early messages, combined with some tough professional challenges she faced later times when things felt blocked, resources seemed tight, they started to really solidify the sense of lack inside her, like an internal weight.
A feeling of limitation that seemed tied to what was happening externally.
But then came this turning point, a moment where she saw it differently.
A crisis.
Yes, she mentions a specific crisis. Not purely financial, apparently, though there was pressure. It was just a moment of really profound difficulty that kind of forced her to stop, to look inward, really honestly, and in that quiet introspection, bang, the breakthrough.
She realized.
You realize the overwhelming feeling of lack wasn't just because of the external problems. The deeper, more persistent source was coming from inside, from these old, ingrained beliefs that had been running her life on autopilot for years.
Wow. So it wasn't just the lack of money or opportunity, but her internal reaction to it, filtered through this scarcity programming.
Precisely. The outside situation triggered it, sure, but the feeling, the pervasive lack, that was a product of her internal state. And she says that moment of consciously realizing it, actually seeing the filter, that was the absolute key. That's where she started to break free. You can't change the filter until you realize you're wearing it.
And that's where that filter analogy really hits home.
Yeah.
It's not that the world is scarce, it's that you're seeing it through a scarcity lens.
Exactly. Imagine putting on dark sunglasses. Permanently. You look out, everything seems dim, gray, kind of lifeless, and you might complain, wow, it's always so cloudy and miserable. You genuinely believe the problem is the weather.
Not the glasses on your face.
The glasses. The scarcity mindset is those dark sunglasses. You look at the world, at opportunities, at other people doing well, at your own potential, and it all just looks limited, difficult, not enough.
Even if the opportunities are right there, or you have skills you're just not using.
Yes. Because the filter actively distorts what you perceive. It influences what you even notice versus what you just dismiss. Opportunities that don't align with your internal story, I'm not good enough, there's not enough to go around, they might just fly under the radar.
Brain isn't even looking for them.
It's not. Operating under scarcity, your brain is scanning for lack, for threats, for reasons why things won't work. And this subtle distortion, it directly shapes your decisions. It makes you hesitate, play it safe, avoid taking action, all because that internal filter is whispering, don't bother, you'll fail, or hold on tight, you might lose the little bit you have.
So it's not just an unpleasant feeling, it actually restricts your behavior, and therefore restricts the actual results in your life.
It's a direct cause and effect, which leads us straight into the most critical danger Dr. Martine warns about with this mindset.
The self-fulfilling prophecy.
This is where it gets really real. The most damaging part of holding these deep, scarcity-driven beliefs, they become manifest. Your beliefs aren't just coloring things, they're like blueprints for your reality.
You unconsciously act in ways that make your scarcity beliefs come true.
Exactly. If you believe there's never enough, you behave in ways that ensure you never have enough. It's a tragic loop. The internal state creates the external reality. If your core belief, maybe unseen, is opportunities are scarce, well, your actions will line up with that. You won't look for them properly, you won't prepare for them.
And you certainly won't grab them when they show up.
Precisely. You'll find reasons why it's not right or not possible.
Can we dig into some more specific examples from the sources? Like, how does this self-fulfilling thing play out day to day? Actions or maybe inactions driven by that fear.
In ways this happens. One of the most insidious is that you simply stop seeing opportunities that are genuinely there. Your brain, running on scarcity, is actively looking for reasons why something won't work.
Tunnel vision for obstacles.
Exactly. Focused only on the downside, the potential failure. An opportunity might land right in your lap, a new project, a chance to learn something, an invitation to collaborate. But that scarcity filter kicks in instantly. I'm not qualified, that sounds too risky, I don't have the resources, and poof, it's dismissed. You don't explore it. You see the potential loss, not the potential gain.
It's like your brain is actively trying to confirm its own bias towards lack.
That's exactly what it is. Confirmation bias for scarcity. Another huge one is resisting taking chances. Even small, calculated risks, stepping outside your comfort zone just a little, investing a bit of money or time in learning something new, starting a slightly difficult but necessary conversation.
Feels terrifying.
Absolutely terrifying from a scarcity place. The fear of losing the little bit you think you have is just paralyzing. The constant thought is, what if I put this time or money in and it doesn't work out? I can't afford that loss. So you stay safe, you stay small.
And by doing that, you guarantee you won't get the growth or the breakthroughs that might have come from taking that calculated risk.
Precisely. Which, again, just reinforces the feeling of being stuck, of not having enough. It's the self-feeding loop. Inaction leads to lack, which confirms the original belief. Vicious cycle. And this fear of loss, it often shows up as this pervasive, constant worry about future lack. The fear of the unknown just becomes overwhelming.
What if the economy tanks? What if I get sick? What if I run out of money when I'm older?
Exactly. Now, planning is wise, of course, but the scarcity mindset turns these normal concerns into chronic, debilitating anxiety. You spend today completely consumed by fear of a hypothetical future where you don't have enough.
So your mind is so busy worrying about what might be missing tomorrow.
Completely misses the possibilities and opportunities today. It drains your energy, your creativity, your ability to act. And the cumulative result of all this, the filtered perceptions, the hesitations, the constant worry, the inaction driven by fear,
is that you perpetuate the very cycle of lack you're trying to escape.
Yeah, that is the danger. Misgrowth, stay stressed, and your reality keeps reflecting the scarcity filter. You keep complaining it's cloudy because you haven't realized you can take off the dark glasses. It's an incredibly powerful and often, invisible trap.
It sounds like a really tough place to be stuck. But thankfully, Dr. Martine doesn't just leave us there, right? Her work offers a way out.
She absolutely does. And this is where it starts to feel empowering. This mindset, it's not a life sentence, it's learned. It's a conditioned response. And the brilliant news is learned patterns can be unlearned. They can be replaced with better ones. She offers really clear, practical tools to start that process.
And the very first step, the one she really hammers home as the foundation.
Self-awareness. Always. You cannot change what you're not aware of. That's step one, absolutely crucial. Bringing those unconscious limiting beliefs up into the light, into your conscious mind, identifying the filter itself.
Sounds simple, but I bet it takes some real introspection. And maybe some courage.
Oh, it requires brutal honesty.
What?
Yeah, it means hitting pause when you feel that familiar knot in your stomach about money, or that little pang of envy when someone else gets ahead, or that hesitation before taking a potential leap, and asking yourself some tough questions like,
So really listening in on your internal chat and questioning if it's accurate.
okay, what belief is actually driving this feeling right now? Am I reacting out of genuine wisdom, or is this just fear? Fear rooted in that old feeling of lack, or what story am I telling myself about this situation? Is that story actually true, or is it just an old program playing out?
I like that. Oh.
Precisely. She calls these moments, these feelings of discomfort, hesitation, fear around perceived, she calls them yellow warning lights on your mental dashboard.
Yellow light.
Yeah, so you see someone else's success, feel that tightness in your chest, yellow light. You justify not investing in yourself, oh, I can't afford it, without actually looking at the numbers or the potential return. Yellow light. You feel that wave of panic thinking about potential future insecurity. Yellow light. These are signals. An old scarcity belief might be active. The work is to stop, notice the light, and investigate. Is this a fact, or is this fear just dressed up like a fact?
Okay, so once you start tuning in, noticing the filter, what's the next practical step she talks about?
Daily gratitude. Now, this might sound almost too simple. Keep a journal, think of 3 things. But Dr. Martine really emphasizes its profound power in actively fighting scarcity.
Okay, but what's the actual mechanism? How does something like gratitude dismantle such a deep-seated mindset?
It's about deliberately, consciously retraining where your brain puts its focus. See, the scarcity mindset is laser focused on what's missing, on problems, on potential future lack. It's a state of constant striving, constant anxiety. Daily gratitude is the practice of deliberately shifting your attention to what you already have, to what's already good in your life, what's working, what you appreciate right now.
So you're intentionally looking away from lack, and towards present abundance, even if it feels small.
Exactly. You are intentionally activating a mental state of appreciation, of contentment, which is the polar opposite of scarcity's anxiety and never enough feeling. By consistently focusing on what you have, you are literally reprogramming your brain to notice abundance. You're teaching it to scan for the good, the sufficient, the gifts, even when things are tough.
It weakens the old pathway.
It weakens the old pathways of lack and strengthens new ones linked to appreciation, to having enough. It's a simple action, but doing it consistently. The cumulative effect is huge, transformative.
That makes a lot of sense. You can't really feel deeply grateful and deeply deprived in the exact same instant.
Exactly, they're opposing states.
So what does that look like?
Okay, another key practical tool she highlights is investing in yourself.
And you mentioned earlier, she's clear this isn't just about money.
Crucially not. Yes, responsible financial planning is part of an abundant life, for sure. But investing in yourself in this context means building up your internal resources, your own capacity.
Yeah.
It includes investing in knowledge and skills. Taking that course, reading those books, learning something new that excites you or could help you grow. It includes investing in your emotional well-being, therapy, coaching, mindfulness, taking time to actually process things. And it means investing in your personal growth, pursuing hobbies, challenging yourself, spending time on self-reflection.
Because if your biggest asset is really your own potential,
then investing in that asset is the most abundant action you can take. It's a powerful statement of belief in your own future capacity. When you invest in yourself, you're sending a message to your subconscious. You are worth the time, the money, the energy. You have the capacity to learn, grow, and create future abundance. It directly fights back against those "I'm not good enough" or "I don't deserve it" scarcity messages.
Another tool that sounds really important for rewiring is about environment, seeking out positive environments and people.
Yeah. Oh, incredibly important. Think about it. Our environment is constantly feeding our mindset, whether we notice it or not. If you're surrounded by people who are always complaining about lack, always operating from fear, always critical,
It just drags you down, reinforces your own stuff.
totally. It's like trying to quit smoking while living with roommates who chain smoke. It makes changing your own patterns so much harder. Dr. Martine really stresses actively curating your environment.
Choosing who you spend time with.
Choosing who you spend time with, yeah. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, who see possibilities, who are supportive, who operate from abundance themselves. Their energy, their perspectives, even their successes, they give your brain new positive reference points, new evidence.
And it's not just people, right? Environments too.
Environments too. Exposing yourself to abundance may be physically spending time in places that feel prosperous or expansive, or mentally through books, podcasts, media that showcase growth and possibility. All of it helps counteract the old programming. It shows your brain, look, there is enough, it is possible, people do succeed.
And then there's a practice mentioned in the second source, often linked with this kind of work, creative visualization.
Yes, creative visualization. She talks about this as a really potent tool for that internal reprogramming. It involves deliberately imagining yourself already living the life you want.
Not just daydreaming, though.
No, it's more focused. A deliberate practice. You create vivid mental pictures, but crucially, you also feel the emotions that go with having achieved those goals. Whether it's feeling the peace of financial freedom, the satisfaction of career success, the energy of vibrant health, or the joy of great relationships.
So you see it, but you also feel it, like the joy, the security, whatever it is.
The feeling part is absolutely key. The subconscious responds powerfully to emotion and imagery. So by consistently visualizing and feeling as if your desired reality is already here, you start to reprogram your mind at a much deeper level. You're creating a new internal blueprint. And ultimately, your actions with what you want to create externally. It's telling your whole system, okay, this is the new direction, this is the reality we're building. It helps break that old pattern of only being able to imagine struggle or lack.
Aligning your thoughts and feelings.
Not at all. Dr. Martine explicitly links these practices to the science of neuroplasticity.
Okay, so we've got self-awareness, gratitude, investing in yourself, positive environments, visualization. These are powerful practices. But, is there actual science here? Or is it just sort of wishful thinking?
Exactly. And she emphasizes this isn't just some nice philosophical idea. There's a biological reality under the hood. It explains why these mindset shifts are actually possible. The human brain isn't fixed, like concrete. It can literally rewire itself based on new experiences, new focuses, new learning, repeated actions.
Right. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to physically change and adapt based on experience.
Every time you deliberately choose to focus on gratitude, you strengthen the neural circuits tied to positive emotion, contentment, feeling like you have enough. And conversely, every time you catch a scarcity thought, become aware and choose a different focus. You weaken the old scarcity pathway.
So practicing gratitude every day isn't just a nice habit. You're actually building different pathways in your brain.
The more you walk the new path, the clearer it gets, and the old, overgrown one fades away. Same idea with exposing yourself to abundant environments and ideas. It gives your brain new data, new reference points that contradict the old scarcity stuff. It helps form entirely new, more empowering neural connections.
Like forging a new trail in a field.
Oh, absolutely not. Dr. Martine is crystal clear on this. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes dedication, patience, repetition, consistency. You're working against potentially years, even decades of ingrained programming.
It sounds like it definitely requires consistent effort, though, not a quick fix.
Perfect. Consistency is the engine here. A single workout doesn't build muscle. One day of gratitude won't erase a lifetime of scarcity thinking. But consistent, deliberate practice day in, day out, gradually but profoundly changes the brain's physical structure and its default way of operating.
It really is like that analogy she uses. Going to the gym, but for your mind, one visit won't cut it.
The encouraging part she highlights, backed by the science, is that this ability to rewire this neuroplasticity, it works no matter how old you are. You are never too old to change your mind. And by changing your mind, you change your brain and you change your life.
And a really encouraging part is,
absolutely doesn't. Now, while we focused a lot on scarcity around material things, Dr. Martine also offers a much broader view, a more nuanced view of what prosperity really means. She calls it a modern and humanized perspective.
that is genuinely hopeful. It means the past doesn't have to define the future.
Precisely. She argues that, financial well-being is a piece of it, but true prosperity, that's a holistic state. It's about wholeness across different vital parts of life, not just the financial column.
Moving beyond just dollars in the bank.
Well, according to her work, real prosperity includes your emotional well-being, feeling inner peace, resilience, joy. It includes your physical health, having the vitality and energy to actually live fully. It includes healthy, supportive relationships, connections that really nourish you. And maybe most importantly, personal fulfillment. Living a life that feels meaningful, purposeful, aligned with who you are.
And what does that include, in her view?
Absolutely. And the flip side is true too. Someone might be just starting out financially, still building. But if they have great health, strong relationships, and they're doing work they love, they're already experiencing huge, vital parts of real abundance. She really stresses balancing all these areas.
So you could be incredibly wealthy financially, but still feel a deep scarcity if your relationships are terrible or your health is shot, or you feel no purpose.
Exactly. Cultivating that wholeness, mind, body, heart, spirit, that is cultivating abundance in its richest form.
It's not worth chasing money if it costs you everything else.
Yeah, she points to things like mindfulness, meditation, even just conscious breathing, not just as stress busters, but as essential tools for maintaining this holistic prosperity. They help you stay present, grounded, aware. They help you handle life's bumps without getting sucked back into scarcity's fear and anxiety.
And she links this broader idea to specific daily practices too. Training your mind to come back to calm.
To calm, to presence, which is the fertile ground where abundance in all its forms can actually grow. It really shifts the focus, doesn't it? Less about the external chase.
And more about cultivating this rich, resilient internal state that then lets you engage with the world from a place of wholeness and possibility.
That's the core shift, and it leads right to her powerful conclusion. Prosperity isn't some finish line you cross when you hit a certain net worth or achieve certain goals. It's a lifestyle. A way of being, a way of living, thinking, feeling, acting that you practice consistently, every day.
Which brings up that practical question for people listening. Okay, fine. But how do I know if I have this scarcity mindset running things? What are the signs?
The sources mentioned she gets asked this a lot. Right. Back to that crucial first step, awareness. She gives some clear indicators, those yellow warning lights, that might signal you're operating from scarcity. Okay, one is that pervasive nagging fear. Just a constant background hum of worry about running out of something: money, time, opportunities, energy. Or a strong feeling that things are bound to go wrong, that lack is inevitable in the future.
What are some of those specific signs?
Yeah, never trusting there will be enough. Another big sign is finding it really hard to invest in yourself. Not just money, but time and energy too. If you constantly feel you can't afford to take that course, buy that book, spend an hour exercising, learn a new skill, even if logically it seems like a smart investment in your future, that could be the scarcity filter.
Always waiting for the other shoe to drop. Because the hidden belief is, I don't have enough now, so I definitely can't spend resources on something that isn't guaranteed to pay off immediately.
Exactly. Feels like draining an already low tank. Excessive self-criticism is another one, or what she sometimes calls autocobranza, just constantly demanding more from yourself, feeling like you're never good enough, never doing enough.
Those are definitely powerful signals to watch out.
It stems from a deep internal scarcity belief about your own fundamental worth or capability. You feel insufficient inside. And finally, a really telling sign she points out is feeling jealousy or resentment when someone else succeeds. Instead of feeling inspired or seeing it as proof of what's possible, you feel that pang of lack, like their success somehow highlights your own shortcomings, or worse, takes away from some limited pie that you needed a slice of.
That feeling
They
of
really
being
are. They're
not
invitations to just pause and look underneath. And another super common question people ask,
and based on everything we've discussed, Dr. Martine's answer is,
look, is change really possible after maybe decades of living like this? Am I just stuck?
and that's where neuroplasticity comes
A
back in. being
resounding,
so encouraged.
absolutely unequivocal, yes, change is possible. She tackles this head on in the sources. You are not defined by your past programming. Just because you've held these beliefs for ages doesn't make them your permanent reality.
It's the insight plus the action.
Exactly. She brings it right back to that. The brain can change. It can form new pathways throughout life. It's not just a young person's game, but the path to change is the same. Awareness first. Always. You can't reprogram a mind you don't understand. But then, awareness has to be followed by consistent, deliberate action and practice, using the tools.
Right. And for listeners who are feeling this resonate and want to go deeper, she does recommend some resources.
It's the insight plus the sustained effort, the consistent application of these practices that actually does the rewiring.
What kind of books?
Yes, the sources mention a few key books that align with or complement her idea. Well, classics in this area, like The Power of the Subconscious Mind, which really dives into how much our unconscious programming runs the show. Another is Carol Dweck's Mindset, which brilliantly contrasts that fixed mindset, often rooted in scarcity, with a growth mindset, which is all about abundance and
Yeah, great book. So plenty of pathways for people to continue exploring this if they want to.
abundance mindset are mentioned as foundational texts for anyone wanting to do this work seriously.
So wrapping up this deep dive into Dr. Helen Franciny Martine's work, the main takeaway feels incredibly empowering, doesn't it? Scarcity isn't some fixed external thing we're stuck.
Absolutely. The journey starts inside, though, with that shift.
At its core, it's a state of mind, an internal filter we've learned to wear, often without even knowing it.
And precisely because it is an internal state, it's fundamentally within your power to change it. You can spot the filter, understand where it came from, and then through conscious effort, through consistently using tools like gratitude, self-investment, curating your environment, visualization, you can start to reprogram your mind.
You can choose to take back control from those old limiting scripts.
You absolutely can. Your mind really does shape your reality. And as Dr. Martine stresses, you deserve to experience prosperity, not just financially, but that full, holistic well-being and fulfillment in all parts of your life.
It's a truly liberating message, which I guess leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? Something for you, the listener, to maybe chew on after this deep dive, building on Dr. Martine's insights.
Yeah, a little takeaway reflection. If real lasting change kicks off with becoming aware of those limiting beliefs, the ones often running silently in the background, just consider this. What is one specific limiting belief, maybe about money, maybe about your own abilities, maybe about being worthy, maybe about opportunity itself? What's one that might be operating just under the surface for you right now?
Taking a moment to really try and catch that silent whisper.
Yeah, just one. And then thinking about the practical strategies we've talked about: awareness, gratitude, environment, visualization, investing in yourself. What's the absolute smallest, most manageable step you could possibly take, maybe even today, to start challenging that specific belief?
Not a huge overhaul, just the smallest step.
Smallest possible step. One tiny action. One different thought chosen on purpose, one moment of just noticing and questioning it, just to test its edges a little, to gather some new evidence for yourself, to begin trying out a new, more abundant possibility. What's your one small step?
That is definitely a question worth sitting with. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into Dr. Helen Franciny Martine's work on moving beyond scarcity.
It was a pleasure. Until next time.